everybody, this is Andrea rohrer and it is football season. Today I'm going to make an easy to make, easy to eat, and most importantly, easy on the wallets appetizer. I'm making my macaroni and cheese with a prosciutto blanket, and it's going to be served in a yummy little cupcake so everybody can get one and everybody will be full. Let's talk about the ingredients. I have my pasta shells. I'm using these today instead of the typical macaroni. I think they're a little classier, and I also like the way that they hold the sauce. Totally your choice. You want to go traditional, you want to get sassy, either or. Butter, a half a stick, some nice prosciutto, 2 types of cheeses because you want to put a little bit of spin. We got our traditional cheddar, and we have our Gruyere. We want to make it a little sexy here, so we also have garlic, breadcrumbs for the crust, and to get that nice creamy smooth texture, we have cream cheese, 1/4 of a cup. 1 cup of half and half to keep it moist. So let's start by boiling off our shells. 2 things, guys. 1, you always want to start with water that's already hot. What I mean by this is that you will cut your time in half if you run your water from your sink a little bit until it gets hot and you start with hot water. 2nd, you always want to make sure that your water is very, very salty. Then your food will also come out with a lot of flavor. So let's get this going. And while these are going, I'm going to start on the sauce for my mac and cheese. So, we have our pan and our spatula. Get this going. Next, we're going to grate our cheeses. And I always like to buy cheeses in their block form and not in the shredded form. 1, because it's a fraction of the cost to grate the cheese yourself versus buying, that shredded stuff that you can buy. And 2, you know exactly what you're getting when you grate the cheese. I don't know what goes into those mixes. I don't know how that works, and I like them in their natural form. So unless you're really busy and you don't have the time to grate the cheese yourself, save some money and, break that cheese down. Now that my pasta's at al dente, which means to the tooth, it's just sticking to the roof of my teeth, I'm going to pull it out because I don't want it to overcook when I bake it in the oven. So let's strain this. So we got our pasta strained. Let's get on making the sauce. Get a nice hot pan. This was already preheating, don't think it's cold, sorry. Throw this in there, half a stick of butter. Let that melt down, and while that's melting down, I'm going to use about a teaspoon, maybe a little bit more, of some crushed garlic. Throw that right in there. The garlic's really going to add a nice flavor to this dish. And our grated cheese, cheddar, also right into the pan. Last but not least, oh, I lied, it's not last. Second to last, our 1 cup of half and half and our 1/4 cup of cream cheese. Please don't go low fat with this. There's no such thing as low fat mac and cheese. Sorry, Mom. You can add a little more cream cheese if you want a creamier texture. I just use a 1/4 cup because, I don't know, that's just what I'm doing. And some salt. My wonderful aunt from Switzerland who's coming to visit me just brought me some Himalayan rock salt. So I'm going to put some of that in, but any kind of salt will do, obvi. Put that in there. And we're going to give it a quick stir. This is the sauce that you're going to use to give the initial coating to the mac and cheese. We're going to toss the shells in this sauce. And then between each layer, we are going to sprinkle our other cheese, the Gruyere cheese, in. So we're just going to get this nice and melted down. Oh my gosh, I already smell the butter. Hi. Our sauce is nice and melted down. It's ready to go. It might look like it's really, really wet, and you're right, it is. But that is because we want this to be the most moist and delicious mac and cheese anybody has ever tasted. After we've strained our pasta, we want to make sure we really, really, really shake out all of the moisture. We don't want this to have any extra water or anything like that. It's been fully shaken off from all of its moisture. And now we are going to give it a nice toss in this creamy goodness before we bake it off. I almost forgot. The main ingredient that's going to keep this whole thing together, and my last secret ingredient, is 1 egg. It's really going to bind the pasta together so it can hold a nice shape. So I just take 1 egg, whisk it up really quickly, and toss it right into the pasta. And that's going to give a little more shape to these cupcakes. And I guess add some protein if you want to look at it that way. Let's start assembling our little cupcakes. Our nice prosciutto. Take it in, super simple. Lay it right into the cupcake mold. See, it'll kind of fold in like that. And that is going to be the blanket for our yummy little cupcakes. I'm just going to get all of these slices in. And you want to get a prosciutto that has these little pieces of film. It makes it really easy to work with because this is such a delicate cut of meat. This is the way it should look. Nice and beautiful, lining the inside. And we are going to do our first layer, which is the Gruyere cheese. I'm just going to sprinkle a small layer right at the bottom of this. And I like to use the cheese at the bottom because, well, cheese is good in every bite. And I find that if I mix it all in at one time in there, it sort of just gets kind of lost. I like to do these layers so you can really taste that there are several, well, not several, only 2, but nonetheless 2 very different kinds of cheeses in this mac and cheese. So first layer down, and we're just gonna get a ladle and scoop our yummy delicious goodness right into these little cupcake shells. There you go. And some Gruyere cheese right at the top. I'm actually thinking that maybe I should do more Gruyere in the layers. So let's do the next one, a little less mac and a little more Gruyere. And once again, back to my mac. I'm just gonna get these finished off and then we can start with the crust. Now that we've got our little cupcake molds filled, and look how amazing they look, I'm gonna finish them off with a little bit of breadcrumbs on the top. I use this Italian breadcrumb mix that my family just kind of had at our house because it's quick, it's easy, and it has awesome seasoning in it. And I think it really goes well with the Gruyere cheese and the prosciutto, that whole Italian vibe going on. So just sprinkle a little bit of crumb right at the top, and once that's done, pop it in the oven at 350 for 25 minutes. And if you like a little more crust on it, go ahead and hit broil at the very last minute for about 1 minute. Literally 1 minute. You don't want to burn your cheese. We're just going to wait for that for 25 minutes, and I'll see you back when they're ready. So it's been 25 minutes. Let's check on our macaroni and cheese cupcakes. Ooh, they look awesome. They're very hot, so I'm going to need another oven mitt. I'm so excited! Alright, and this is what they should look like. Take a good look at that. You see our prosciutto's crusted up. We have a nice crust on the top. All of our cheeses are melted and gooey. And I'm kind of hungry, so let's get them on a platter. Alright. When I serve these, I want them to be on a nice platter, something big and easy for people to reach through and get on. And so they're a little hot. I just pull the paper up and set them down, and look at, they hold their shape beautifully. And I'm just going to arrange all of these on this platter. Let's get all of these little cutie pies on this platter. Look at my dog Nemo, he's so cute. I want one. Well, if you can tell me how football works, you can have one. Okay? I guess that's a no. And my macaroni and cheese cupcakes are done. So, like I always say, the proof is in the pudding. I think I should try one myself. Oh yes, look at this. It's creamy, it's gooey, the prosciutto is nice and crisp. So good. Now, whether or not you understand football, love it, whatever, It is definitely worth it to make these. So find any excuse to learn the sport and have a football party. Enjoy!